Y'all know it, let's hear y'all. Feel free, go ahead, go ahead. Part of this center.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to come much more. You know what I'm saying? As I say that, I'm happy to be a part of it. I think a side of me is like, man, I should be here more often. But I've been gigging a lot. But today is a blessing. And that side of me that says I should be here more often isn't true. I'm here right where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be.
That's right.
And sometimes I just need to breathe, slow down, instead of going so fast. So that's what this next song is called. Yeah. Let's do it. Life is short and change like the color of leaves.
Yeah.
So I'ma take a moment to breathe. Inhale, exhale, that's all I need. I just want a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life is short and change like the color of leaves. So I'ma take a moment to breathe.
Come on.
Inhale, exhale, that's all I need.
Come on.
We just want a moment to breathe. This is my spoken word, better get my quiet letter. This just a small ambition, better get it's my vendetta. You gotta be laying it down, can't be found waiting. What's a king without a crown? What's a man without a foundation? Smoke we inhale, like we inhale, with no intel of what that entails. Human beings, all about the ritual. Situation gets critical when damage and routines become habitual. So give me that. Ain't no more waiting for peace. Cause ain't no shape of it, just the shape that they traced in the street. And I've been down for too long, and now I'm placing my feet. Whether I'm making tracks, making love, or making a beat. So Lord, just more questions that I ask you. Like moments in movies are special, and life treated like they fast food. This ain't the place that screen told me. This ain't the place on that screen, homie. So you keep it real, cause my recipe that you best pay me. Boy, you know that I'm an SAV. Homie never passes SAT. Shooting anybody from an SAT. Used to ring out the best in me. Now I'm saying rest in peace. So when I witness senseless things like this, I question destiny. But that's when I remember that I'm here for a reason. And life comes and goes like a season. So breathe in. Yeah, life is short and change like the color of leaves. So I'ma take a moment to breathe. I said inhale, exhale, that's all I need. Yeah, I just want a moment to breathe. So breathe with me like hey, hey, hey. Breathe with me like hey, hey, hey. Breathe with me like hey. Life is good until the way you see problems subtract the blessing. You ain't equal to a man until after you adolescent or adolescence. Pockets broke, nervous with no insurance, waiting for the doctor's quote. Adolescence, feeling like a lost remote with no control. Mouth moves like old shoes, cause I got an open soul. They broke the mold when they made me. My mind is walking in a room full of age dead. TV's on each is a different phase of my life. Look, there's the moment I discovered freedom was priced. These days keep passing, blunts I keep ashing. Questions I'm asking, where's my passion? Gone is it past tense? Oh, so distracted, but my recipe that you best pay me. Boy, you know that I'm an SAV. Mama never heard him say yes, you free. Cardiac arrest from his breath at ease. Used to hope for the best for we. Now I'm saying rest in peace. So when I'm with the senseless things like this, I question destiny. But that's when I remember that I'm here for a reason. And life comes and goes like a season. So breathe in. life is short of change like the color of the leaf. So I'ma take a moment to breathe. I said inhale, exhale, that's all I need. Yeah, I just want a moment to breathe. I said life is short of change like the color of the leaves. You feel that? I just want a moment to breathe. I said inhale, exhale, that's all I need. I need y'all. We just want a moment to breathe. So breathe with me like hey. Breathe with me like hey. Breathe with me like breathe with me like hey, hey, breathe with me like life is short of change.
Wow. Jeff Turner, Kev Choice. Yeah. Center for Spiritual Living knows how to do it. Yeah. So good morning. Hello, live stream. I'd like to welcome you all to the Center for Spiritual Living, where we are transforming lives, building dreams, and revealing love. Where all that we ask is that you be open to changing your entire life by changing your mind. Welcome home. My name is Megan Dake Morell. I'm a staff minister and finance director here at the Center for Spiritual Living. I would like to take a moment now to welcome the newcomers and let you know that we have a special gift waiting for you over in the tiled area, which we call the concierge. And if you're flying under the radar for the first few months, you can go to the back foyer area, and there's a same gift waiting there for you. So let's see, I'm supposed to tell you. You know, I'm not seasoned yet. Thank you for helping me get seasoned up here. So I am also welcoming any newcomers to live stream. We know you're out there. We want you to know that your moderator today, I believe, is Ann Steiskell. I didn't check that out ahead of time. So your moderator is Ann Steiskell. And the other ways that you can get in touch with CSL and watch previous talks, and this talk today later, if you just didn't get enough of Jeff Turner or David Bruner, is online through our website. We now have a front page that shows you the live streaming. We also have a lot of information on the website for you. So now, without further ado, you get to find out who the person next to you is by turning and saying hello. This is also your opportunity to turn off all electronic equipment.
What a bunch of lovely expressions of the thing itself. Each week we take that time to breathe in the silence, and we celebrate 2 minutes of that silence. The musicians will lead us into a chant. We'll have the 2 minutes of silence, and after that I will lead us in a prayer, and then we'll read the affirmation.
So breathe with me like hey, hey, hey. Breathe with me like hey, hey, hey. Breathe with me like hey, hey, hey.
as I breathe and pay attention to that breath, I become present to the silence where the thing itself is always. The silence where the one is the infinite. The silence where that idea of one and infinite is a paradox that my human mind cannot get around. And yet that paradox is the way of the universe. Music from Tchaikovsky to Jeff Turner, it's all there. And my human mind wants to choose between these seeming paradoxes, and yet they both exist. And this thing itself, so many unique individual ways it shows up, one of which happens to be this thing called me. And I know that averages and normalcy are constructions of the human mind, that every single thing, every single person, including me, is a unique and divine expression of the essence of all that is. And when I breathe and become present to that space, become present to that silence which actually has sound, I am calmed and comforted in the knowing that all is well. And I release anything that is not like that from my mind. And in doing so, I release it from mind. And I'm grateful for this breath, grateful for the silence which has sound, knowing that it's always there for me to contact. It's always there for me to be aware of. It's always there to bring me peace. And I am exceedingly grateful, knowing that all is well. And I release my word into the action of the law, knowing that it's done, and so it is. If you will join me in reading this month's affirmation, which is on the screens. Yes, thank you. I rely on God alone, in whom I live, move, and have my being. A sense of peace and certainty flows through me. I am surrounded with friendship, love, and beauty. Enthusiasm, joy, vitality, and inspiration are in everything I do.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing out there this evening? I just want to take us to a place we can release all the stress, all the worry that we went through this week. We're just going to let it all go. Is that all right with everybody right now? There's been a lot going on this week in the world. Sometimes we let it weigh heavy on our souls. Sometimes we just got to let it go. Let it go. I got the strength, I'm making a difference. I'm changing the outcome by letting it all go. All go. All go. Just let it all go, go, go. Just let it a moment, we gon' let all our troubles go. Bury our worries, funeral for our sorrows. Lay our stress to rest in a casket of marble. Have a second line for the pressures on the mind. Leave it all behind like yesterday's, cause tomorrow the sun still shine and the stars still sparkle. Even gray clouds that bring rain are remarkable. A beautiful storm can cleanse the earth and make the flowers grow. Every day we bombarded with the negative. You can see it in the gray hairs of the president. The whole society full of anxiety. People in their 20s having heart attacks. Don't know the meaning of sobriety. Applying for jobs and ain't nobody calling back. The economy is in a hole so deep, I think it hit China. But every time I hit rock bottom, I hear a little voice telling me we gotta let it all. Just let it all go. Let it all go. Just let it all go. Just for a moment, release all your tension. Clear your mind of any thought apprehensive. Be careful what you contemplate, cause a lot of times that could bring a negative vibe into existence. We all got haters and enemies, but that ain't even worth our time and energy. Got more important things on my agenda. To harbor any ill will pent up. Try not to get bent up out of shape. Meditate, get it out of my system. Got the weight of the world on my shoulder blade. The strength from inside keep me numb, yo, like Novocaine. Always look at the glass, always half full and keep pouring. Can't hold me down, I keep soaring. Wake up every morning like today gon' be gorgeous. Can't see the forest for the trees. Tripping over petty things. Gotta remember what's really important. And just let it all go. Let it all go. Just let it all go. Hey yo, I got this straight. I'm making a difference. I'm changing the outcome by letting it all go. All go. All go.
That's Kev Choice, ladies and gentlemen.
Sing along if you feel it, y'all. Just let it all go. All the worries, all the pain, all the struggle, all the strife, yo. Just let it all go. Negative energy can't control me, no. Just let it all go.
Now it's my turn. My name is Sandy Swanson, and I'm giving your 5-minute power talk this morning. And I am also here to confess to you that I have been having a love affair, sorry, honey, with prayer. Back in 2009, I was first introduced to prayer by Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind. And right away, it was a beautiful start. It began with the recognition of the one that is only love, such a deep, deep love. Beauty, harmony, grace, compassion. And as the relationship continued, my lover and I became one. And I allowed everything that I knew about the good that was my lover to be expressed through me. I reveled in the strength and the power, and I nurtured the peace and the compassion that was now shared as the two became one. And the relationship thrived as I confessed my hopes and my dreams, the wishes of my soul, and the letting go of things that no longer served me. And my lover simply listened, quietly supporting me as each day I turned to him with the expectancy that he was always there to share the vision. I was so grateful for all of it. I gave thanks for my lover, who never judged, just simply said yes. A few months ago, I reached out to my lover yet again with something that I saw happening in my life. My daughter, Haley, decided to try out for the 49er Gold Rush Girls, the cheerleading team. Woohoo! She had been in cheer since second grade, and it was her passion. She absolutely thrived as part of a competitive cheer team. It truly fed her soul. And she even made the cheer team at San Jose State, and I was sure this would help her get through that first semester away from home. Unfortunately, she floundered and ended up dropping out of school and moving back home. She lost her way and was struggling. So when she told me about the tryouts, I knew this was the universe guiding her back to where she should be living her passion. So instantly I turned to my lover and I shared the news, and together I affirmed her smooth and successful tryouts. I welcomed the result of her joining the team. I celebrated going to the game and watching her out on the sidelines. Well, the day came for tryouts, and I was certain I was going to get a call at 5 p.m. that she had made the team. And my phone rang and my daughter answered, I answered, and she was in tears telling me that she did not make the team. And I got that thunk in my chest, what? And just like that, something snapped for me, and I lost my belief in that moment. After falling head over heels in love, my lover let me down. And I cried, and it wasn't the pretty girl cry, it was the snot coming out of the nose cry. I was angry, and I was upset, and I was frustrated. And I was nervous to share this with you this morning because after studying for 4 years to become a licensed practitioner, how can I hope to pray for any of you when I can't see answered prayer for somebody as important as my daughter? So shortly after the event, I had a chance to talk to David about the failure of my lover to come through for me. And he gave me some great advice. He said, go back to basics, pray for something small like a feather. And I smiled at David and said, thanks, great advice, perfect, I'll do it. Of course, I took none of his advice. Because I wasn't ready to forgive my lover yet. I wasn't done whining and complaining. So as I whined and complained, life went on, and I went to lunch with my daughter, and as we come out of Chipotle, she has a second burrito for the young homeless boy who had been sitting outside that I didn't even notice. And a few weeks ago, she received a promotion at work, and she's so much happier, making more money, which is good. And then 2 weeks ago, she got a call that the boy that she went to the senior prom with had committed suicide. And right away, my daughter reached out to see how she could be in service. And in that moment, I got that thunk in my chest again. And it was the realization that my lover, that prayer was not something where I wave a wand and cars and money and feathers fall from the sky. It was something much more than that. And I think David said it beautifully last week. It was just being able to be present for whatever is. And that's when God shows up and things turn out even better than we can imagine. So I still wish I could end this story by saying the 49ers called my daughter and said, what were we thinking? You made the team. But that's not the case. Instead, I turned back to my lover. And I quietly said, thank you. And my lover gently and softly responded and said, Sandy, I have been here the whole time waiting until you were ready. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm David Bruner. I'm the senior minister here at the center, and I'm very happy to be with you today. Sandy, it's so beautiful to watch you as you, I won't say as you mature, but as you reveal yourself to us more and more, because I always suspected that about you. This is like different kind of church music today, don't you think? Loving it. Thank you. I've been hungry to have Jeff and his crew to be with us today. I'm very grateful. Michelle Jordan and her team were at the Heart Space Retreat at Presentation Center in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And so I'm really happy to watch as the good's being shared all around. So what's up with 320 this morning, huh? Anybody else awakened by an earthquake? Anybody not? Really? That's awesome. 12-step program in your future? So this is the most, I notice when I watch TV right after an earthquake, people go, I never felt one as strong, and this one was different than all of them. Well, I have to say that I actually can say that to you today. It was the first time for me that an earthquake over a 5-point-something came with zero noise. I live in a modern high-rise. Well, I did up until last night, because starting tonight I'm staying with my real estate agent, because Mao starts his new job tomorrow in Cupertino, and our escrow clears. We should be out of escrow on Wednesday in downtown San Jose. So I'm only going to go back to my place in Oakland to pack. But I'm telling you this, that last night was my last night in the Oakland high-rise, and it's... Was that funny? Apparently, this modern high-rise was built on, I don't know if there really are rollers, but something like that. So the building was like being on a ship. It just moved and swayed and went up and down, but there was no noise. There were no creaks, no rattling, no sound. And Mao and I looked at each other, and he said, earthquake. But it was the first time, just hold my hand, and we just lay there and watched. You know, usually I jump up like a crazy person, like you got to get out of the house before the building tumbles down. And it was like, whoa, dude, this is pretty amazing. But then I couldn't really go back to sleep, because I wondered, was that the beginning? Or is there more? So as I was leaving for the office this morning on my way down, I saw a sign in my elevator that's been in there for a week, and it was a posting from the security of the building letting us know that downtown Oakland had planned, from a group called Hacktivists, a march. And this was on Thursday, but they were calling it a National Day of Rage, specifically directed toward what's been happening in Ferguson, Missouri, with the shooting of that young man. I believe his name is Michael Brown. So as I was reading this in the elevator, I was just observing what's going on inside of me while I'm reading about a National Day of Rage. What comes up for me is how often in my life I've jumped to conclusions without full details and without all of the data. On either side, by the way. I don't profess to have a view, either pro-police or pro-Michael and his family. But I notice that as I'm maturing along with you as a person who's on a spiritual path, I'm really interested now in not reacting but responding. And so what I'm noticing for me is I don't want to react to whatever the mob is saying, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm finding myself not wanting to react. I'm finding myself wanting to be a person who can make an impact. But I know I can make an impact when I pause long enough to really observe and not dive into the rage, unless, of course, rage is absolutely authentic in me. And if that's the case, then I'm going to express it. And it's my prayer that I'll do so effectively and in a way that keeps me out of jail. But how often in my life have I been triggered from a sign telling me that I'm supposed to be filled with rage at the moment, when for me I'm not. What I'm filled with is a peaceful observation. My prayer being that what's been taking place in Ferguson could be the information that alters the experience for countless people who will come after this moment. But I know for me it's not going to happen when I'm railing and throwing and breaking and stomping. So I'm just observing that in me right now. I'm watching. I'm aware of what's going on in Ferguson. But I don't have an opinion yet. I'm watching. Our topic today is Think As You Please. And it's referring to a one-paragraph chapter in our book of the year called A New Design for Living. And Think As You Please is pointing us, the spiritual seeker, to the idea that God has not already thought what it is that we're supposed to think, and when we think in alignment with that God thought, good things will happen. And when we think out of alignment with that, then we're going to have trouble or sickness or disease or war or what's taking place in Ferguson. We're allowed to think as we please. And Sandy alluded to, in her 5-minute Power Talk, she alluded to what we were exploring last week, and that is, in order for us to be in a place like this, exploring things like this, we must find a place wherein we're comfortable with ambiguity and paradox. Think as you please. You might have a cold, but you are life's vitality. You may be broke, but you are linked to an infinite, bottomless source. You may be sad, but you are plugged into and part of eternal goodness. The ambiguity and the paradox is the reality of the situation, whatever yours might be, or whatever it is you're witnessing, has as its polar opposite pure potentiality and possibility. And you and I are called, as spiritual seekers, if we want to take up the task, to prove that this is true, such that it makes a shift in the world. I don't know about you, but the world matters to me. The older I get, the more it matters to me. It used to matter to me because I wanted to make sure I got the things that I want from it. So I tried to maintain as good relationship with my credit and car companies and landlords so that I could keep my goodies. But now I'm watching, my world really matters to me because you're in it. That's all kind of a downer, isn't it? Let's talk about Missouri. I just got back from Missouri. I wasn't in Ferguson, I was in Springfield. Well, actually, I wasn't even in Springfield, because Springfield would be a big city compared to where I was. I was in a place called Willard, Missouri, population 5,288. Yes, 5,288. And I went there because I went to visit my mom. I went to visit my mom because two of my sisters who lived there told me that her demise is imminent. Here's what I've discovered. She could die today, and she could live longer than me. Nobody really knows. But what I know is I'm now back here, and I'm very grateful to be back here, and I'm very grateful that I had 2.5 days with my mom last week, because nothing will alter your life like spending 2.5 days in a nursing home in Willard, Missouri. Because you will see all kinds of crazy in a nursing home. Wow. Now that's not just because I was there and my mother was there, but wow. So I spent a lot of time just hanging out with my mother, and what I noticed is she just wants to sleep, but she sleeps better when I'm next to her. So like the phone would ring and I'd start to leave the room and she'd go, "Where are you going?" I go, "I'm just going to take a call." But I'd come back and she's sitting like wide awake, and the minute I would sit down, she'd go, "No, I'm not sleeping." And she would just sleep. So I got caught up on a lot of work. But she started talking to me about many things, not the least of which are things I didn't think a son should know. You know? It's a little uncomfortable when Mom starts telling you things like, "You know, your father is the only man I ever really loved, but I have had some naughty dreams." I know, I didn't know. Like, should I say, "Tell me more," or "What do you want for lunch?" So she didn't wait. She told me that she woke up once. She woke up and she was just kissing my dad and kissing my dad and kissing my dad, and realized he wasn't John Wayne. Yeah, she told me about a very tall, dark-haired man she saw once in a train station. Yeah. So I'm working on that with my practitioner and my therapist. It was just amazing. While I was there, it was so beautiful. I landed at the Springfield airport. I arrived in an American Eagle little flight from Chicago, and I had reserved one of those tiny little cheap cars I just needed to get from the airport to the nursing home and to my hotel. But they didn't have the class of car, but they were going to upgrade me. They had a Ford F-150 pickup truck. And I thought, I'm in Missouri. Yes, I would love to have that. And I tell you what, I fell in love with it. Now, I'm not going to buy one because in Northern California, I actually care about your judgments toward me, so it gets like 12 blocks per gallon. So I'm not likely to buy one in the land of Prius. But it was the first time in Missouri I ever felt like I fit in. One of the first billboards I passed, and I'm not making this up, was this massive billboard, and it said Redneck Trailer Supplies. Yeah, it really exists. While I was in Willard, I had a conference call with the finance team. And so I went to the only place that seemed to have wireless in Willard, and that was McDonald's. So I went to hang out at McDonald's, but McDonald's, while they have wireless, they don't have outlets into which I might plug in my notebook computer and my mobile phone. But the manager at the McDonald's in Willard, Missouri, saw that I was setting up this mini little conference call, and he asked me if I needed power for my computer, and I said, yeah, that would be nice, but I don't see any outlets. Well, a few minutes later, he comes out of the kitchen dragging an extension cord. So I'm in McDonald's with an extension cord plugged into their kitchen thinking, you know, all is really well with the world. So while I was in Willard, I learned about 5 things that I wanted to share with you, explore with you, because they're directly related to Think As You Please. And it's not just about me and my family and my life and what's going on with my mom, or about my move back to Silicon Valley. But it's about what I learned being in a nursing home for 2.5 days this last week. Is it pronounced palliative? A palliative nurse? Palliative? Palliative? Okay, palliative nurse. A palliative nurse has compiled a list of 5 things that seem to be the top 5 things that are regrets of those who are dying. I have a friend named Al Kramer, or I did, when he was around. It was back in the 80s, and he was in his 90s. And we asked him in his 90s, Al, do you have any advice for us? And he said, yes. 3 pieces of advice for you if you wanted to make it to 90 and be intact. Sunscreen, dental floss, pedicures. Wear sunscreen, use dental floss, get pedicures. And when I look at the toes of most 90-year-olds, he was right. So I'm all over it. I get manicures, pedicures every 2 weeks. I get them because it feels really awesome to have my feet look good enough that I wear flip-flops and never worry that someone's looking at them. But these are not the 5 things that I learned when I was at this nursing home in Missouri in a magazine. The 5 things that people regret that are not having used dental floss, sunscreen, or getting pedicures. The 5 things that, the top 5 regrets are the things of people who are dying are, I wish I had the courage to live a life that was true to myself and not the one that others expected of me. 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. 3, I wish I had had the courage to express my feelings. 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Now, before I just briefly touch on those 5, I want to say that regret is actually not useful, because regret really does keep us stuck in the past, feeling bad about something about which we cannot change. However, the feelings of regret can be used constructively to cause you to make alterations in whatever's going on in your life right now, such that you are, in the future sense, with fewer regret. I was listening to a radio show this week wherein the talk show host was saying to a woman who was calling into the show, and the woman who called in said, I feel guilty. And the talk show host said, you should. And that makes me just prick up my ears and turn the volume up a little bit, because nobody else is around to watch me salivate at this conversation. You should. And she said, the reason why you should is because you have breached your value system. When you breach your own value system, the natural inclination is to feel guilt because you have disavowed yourself from your holy promise, whatever it is. The sad thing is some people feel guilty for having breached other people's value systems. That's just a waste of time. But when you breach your own, you may feel guilty, and that's a natural response. And if you do, make new promises and keep them. Clean up your mess, make new promises and keep them. Give me just a second. Somebody's having a party over here, and I'm going to surprise them. You having trouble? Oh, close. First service, by the way, if you're here for the first time, is totally real. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's totally real and present. And the 5 points. We are learning that we are thinking all of the time. And if we can slow down the thinking process, we can actually slow down the thinking process by getting stuck in the idea of regret. So you and I are thinking all the time, and we're allowed to think as we please, but mostly what we're thinking is filled with regret and remorse and the things that we do not want. And the regret and remorse and things that we do not want slows down the thinking process, which actually then constricts possibility and has us have the experience of a God that is absent or has abandoned us. So if we can dodge regret, who knows what will happen? I mean, we may even make a difference in Ferguson, Missouri. The 5 things. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life that others expected of me. This really means that most people have not lived even a fraction of the dreams that they want, and they come to the point wherein they're about to die, and they realize that they had not lived the life they want due to choices that they had made or not made. One of my coaches has been very clear with me recently. David, when you're faced with a risk, choose it. Even if it's a big risk, take the risk. Because when you come to the end of your life, more good will have come from those risks than the losses that will happen because of them. So that first thing, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the ones others have expected of me. I'm going to take a leaf from that book and take risks. 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This is Silicon Valley. I don't have to tell you this. All I can tell you is close your computer and go for a walk. At Easter time, I went to an Easter brunch, and it was fascinating. For those of you who were not here, you won't have heard me have said this to the congregation. When we arrived at the table, one particularly effervescent person who was a guest at the table said to us, all right, everybody, phones to the middle of the table, face down. And we all took our phones and put them in, kind of like going through TSA with your guns. So we just put our phones. Oh, this is not Texas. So I put my phone in the middle, and there was a pile of phones. And this person said the first person to pick up their phone picks up the check. It was the longest lunch I've had in a long time. And it was a fascinating one because everyone was present. So we have that in our house now. There's actually a phone-free time. We actually just say phones to the middle. And whoever picks up their phone first gets to buy the jewelry that the other one's been asking for. Isn't this exciting? So that was number 2. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. There's actually a way around this, and you can be smart about it. 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. So I said to Mauricio last night, now this is probably a different generation, because that generation learned not to express their feelings. But my generation expresses their feelings all over everybody. Have you ever noticed? We attack people with our feelings. And Mel said, no, actually, people don't express their feelings. They express complaints. And they're not the same. There's a distinction between expressing your feelings and expressing your complaints. Expressing your feelings is saying, I'm sad. Or, I'm feeling neglected. Would you go to dinner with me? Or, I'm feeling scared. Will you hug me? That's authentically expressing your feelings. But actually, people don't express their feelings because they're addicted to drama. So what happens is they're not expressing their feelings what they need. Instead, what they do is they create drama to get the attention of the person instead of authentically communicating with them. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know anybody who does that? It's not effective, but it's very popular. But it's not effective. There are folks who just blow up and have a temper tantrum because what's really going on is they have some unexpressed feelings. But if you could express your feelings authentically, you might give the other person a chance to take action on it. But that really requires us to ask for what we want. And that takes practice to ask for what you want. Because we have a lot of taboos about we're not supposed to want those. So we're hoping that we're with a person who just assumes or reads minds or is a fortune teller, and then they can just sort of intuit what it is that we want. And then when we don't get what we want, we have a temper tantrum instead of authentically asking for what we want. So maybe the generations aren't so different. It might be useful to learn to ask for what you want. I overheard a conversation. I don't know if I should tell you this. I'm gonna now. Where I could hear that they were planning a tryst. And the male in the couple was telling her how it was going to be, and he seemed to be pretty excited about it, and she was looking upset, which caused me all the more to turn my chair to slide back a little bit more, because I wanted to see how this was going to resolve itself, because I needed to talk to you. Right? I'm not going to pass up something like that, because that's real life. But it was as if she had read my mind and had been working on my sermon notes, because he said, "What's up?" And she started to flare up. But she stopped herself and said, "I need more foreplay." And he said, "Great, what's that look like?" And then she started describing it, and then I realized I probably shouldn't listen to any more of this. But I could see, it was like, wow, I bet that was totally normal. She wanted probably a part of it, but there was something missing. She doesn't know how to ask for what she wants. So the way she does it is to get mad because he didn't give her what she wants. And then he's stymied because he doesn't know what he did wrong. And then they both have a fight when they could have had great sex. You guys get that? Those are not in my sermon notes, so second service is going to miss out. So if you're feeling neglected, why don't you ask for what you want? And asking for what you want is not the same as demanding what you want. 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I don't know anybody who's dying that doesn't wish they had their friends around them. And I'm learning this for myself, by the way. Texting and Facebook, they have so many awesome benefits, amazing, life-altering benefits, but they do not substitute for relationships. People say, "Oh yeah, we're friends on Facebook." I've never met you. Well, we're friends on Facebook. Well, we're not friends. We're not even acquaintances. I don't know you. Not that I don't want to, but let us not fool ourselves into thinking we have relationships with people online, because we do not. We don't. We don't. And all the while there are people who just desperately want to be with people, so they hide themselves in their room and get online. And then wonder why they're feeling empty. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's a paradox. Show up in the world. Go walking downtown. Go to Santana Row. Go to East Ridge, Oak Ridge, Valco. Hang around with folks in the parking lot at the church. My mother used to do that in the Catholic Church. Or just go have coffee with people. Hang out. Make connections. And if it's awkward for you, that's not a surprise. That's normal in today's world because we've learned to isolate. So be awkward for a little bit. Just don't be creepy. 5. I wish I had let myself be happier. Bottom line, happiness is a choice. Happiness is not something actually that you can get or you can buy or it's going to come to you. Happiness is actually something that occurs in reaction to a way of being. I've actually been in the presence of people who are dying, who are happy. And I've been in the presence of people who have actually been in huge amounts of money and who are totally unhappy. Happiness is a state of being based upon a perception. And our topic title today is Think As You Please. Well, however you're thinking is going to create that. And Kev, will you come help me out? We're gonna pray and wrap this up a bit. I want to thank you for all of your texts and Facebook postings and emails and phone calls and asking me about my family. They're awesome. I'm grateful to you. I'm really grateful for American Airlines and their infrastructure that got me to Missouri. And I wish that they would all learn to do business like Southwest. That was totally random. I know. Join me in prayer. And the purpose of this prayer right now is to set an intention and create a result. The purpose of prayer is for me to speak my word, which means to take a stand for the people that matter to me. And if you're within earshot of my voice right now, you matter to me. The word that I'm speaking is that today is a day that has never existed before, and being that this day, this 24th day of August, has never existed before, in this moment, I can create something that has never existed before. A life more vibrant, brighter, sweeter, broader, deeper, more powerfully connected, in which you, the listener, are living the life that you were intended to live, a life unleashed, unbound, unencumbered, a life in which there is joy and possibility and hope. If there's anything going on in your life for which you need help, right now help is coming, because I said so. And that's the stand I take. Right now I'm including the people of Ferguson. I'm including Michael Brown's family, their attorneys, and any of us who in any way are connected. May this be resolved beautifully, hopefully, peacefully, and powerfully. I'm including Napa right now, the city of Napa, as they clean up after the earthquake. May they know that many of us love them and support them. And if there's anything that we have that they can use, may it be theirs. I have nothing else to say. Let the day get on. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that this prayer produces results. And so it is. Before the ushers come forward and help us with the sharing of our gifts and tithes and offerings, I wanted to share with you that I've noticed in Southern California, where I was raised, school always started the week after Labor Day, and it ended the first week of June. But I've noticed here, summer's not over, but kids are back in school, which I know brings about mixed feelings. For parents, the kids are back to school, and for kids, it's like boo-hoo. So we are back to school, whether we like it or not. We're back to school. And I don't know if you know these statistics, but the average American family spends $670 preparing for back to school. That's the average American family, which, by the way, doesn't live in California. The average American family, oh, my notes have been removed, but we will spend, though, $1.7 billion if we include our, would you be willing to hold that down for me? That's fantastic, but I want to have a cocktail. And have you guys sing. But we're going to get to that in a minute as I lean on the piano. Sorry, Kevin, thank you. The average, anyway, you know what I've noticed about this? I don't hear people complain too much. They worry about getting the money to get their kids back to school, but I don't hear any complaining. I hear worry, but not complaining. And I wonder, why is that so? And through prayerful consideration, I realize it's because folks don't typically see sending their kids back to school as an expense. They see it as an investment. Yeah? And before the ushers come forward, I wanted to borrow that idea. I want to let you know that what we're doing here at the Center for Spiritual Living, we have a whole youth program back here. And we're not just daycare. We're not just babysitting the kids while you're in here. They're getting a full-on education that is equal to what's going on. That's probably better than what you learned in here today with me. But it's pretty powerful. And I want you to know we never charge folks for that, and I'm very proud of that. There's no fee for the use of what goes on in Youth and Family Ministries. And that's just one of the things that we take on, not as an expense, but as an investment. And so today when you're giving whatever it is you can give, I want to thank you for investing in the youth at the Center for Spiritual Living, because while your kids are going back to school, ours are fully head-on in school, too. Please join me in saying our giving affirmation. And Kev, you can take the music back. Thank you. Everything I touch today prospers. I touch everyone and everything in my thoughts with support and compassion. I am surrounded by goodwill, kindness, and support.
What's up, everybody? Can we get a little more volume on this one? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, okay. Right on. So this song's called Change. Any of y'all need a little bit of that in your life? I do. I do. Yeah. As we said, that's Kev Choice on the keys. My name is Jeff Turner. This is Kelvin. Yeah. This ain't working. This must go. Still I'm hurting. Still I hold on to the ball and chain. The future calls my name, but the past is my best friend, even though it only caused me pain. Here we go again, and again, and again, no. When will I learn when I hit that knock, don't let me know. I'll reach my max, repeat the facts. No words, no talk, only results can teach me that with my hands up. I'm screaming out, how come? But insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I know I can't go on like this. I can't stay the same. I know something must change. Something must change. Yeah. Find a new way. Something must change. Something must change. Y'all feel that? It's a new day. Something must change. Change. Something must change. Something must change.
Come on.
Y'all feel that? Find a new way. Something must change. Something must change. Find a new way. Something must change. Something must change. Ask for what you want. It's a new day. Something must change. Change. Something must change. Something must change. Find a new way. Something must change. Something must change. Find a new way. Something must change. Yeah, I need some change. And I'm gonna find it. Absolutely. And that's a lot of the reason that I'm up here. I find my change when I express what I want. I want change, so I make songs about it and I speak to you. So does he, so does he. Y'all need a little bit of change, say yeah. Y'all need a little bit of change, say yeah. And we gon' get it. Just remember that. Something must change. Thanks, y'all.
So, this wonderful different music is for sale for Jeff Turner and Kev Glove out in Fellowship Hall. Kev Choice, excuse me. Love. Kev Love. Our new best friend. Thank you. And so I'm going to hand this over to Ann.
Good morning. I'm Ann Marshall. Excited to tell you about the silent auction, live auction coming here in 2 weeks. Tickets are on sale now. Please join us for a fun evening. Food, wine, fellowship, some really great, awesome auction items. These paintings behind me, for instance, and so much more. Also, you can advertise if you have a business, a product, a service, you have a business card, you want to put an ad in the program, come see me in Fellowship Hall, and I'd be happy to work with you on that. This week will be the last week to get advertising in. So I hope to see you in 2 weeks at the auction. Buy tickets now.
Thank you, Ann. And if you've never been to the auction, good, fun place to go. It's our main event of the year, and I've been every year. So today, Reverend Maureen is going to be having her Let's Talk About series. It starts at 2 o'clock, and the topic is We Begin the Conversation. It's on aging and caring for our aging parents and loved ones. On Wednesday, Reverend Susan at 7 o'clock is going to be doing a celebration and a closing of the Wednesday night series. And that's because Dr. David is starting a Sangha. September 3rd will be the first one, and that's going to be going from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Also on Wednesday night is Dr. David's drop-in coaching from 5:45 to 6:30, and this month it's on forgiveness. We'll go through September. And then Thursday night, a lot of changes this week. Thursday night, Awaken series, which has been going on for about a year, will stop happening, and that is because it's replaced by the Sangha on Wednesday night. The Friday Family Fun Night has been postponed until October. We'll give you more information as the time draws near. Please save the date for a wonderful workshop by 4 powerful figures called The Energies of Love. It'll be on September 7th after the services. It's featuring Donna Eden, David Feinstein, Howard Falco, and Edward Viljoen. And finally, Center Stage Productions is holding their auditions. They start on September 14th. It's for a radio show. It's a radio play called It's a Wonderful Life, and they will be seeking 5 people to act in that. I strongly encourage you to try out no matter what level of acting you've done, because that's a blast too. So if you need to talk to somebody about your something you need prayer for, or if you want to celebrate what's changed in your life that's wonderful, please join our practitioners under the window for a 1-minute miracle. And those of you on live streaming, please give Max your phone number, and we will get in touch with you for prayer as well.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left? And won't you join me, or please repeat after me, which is our custom. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my relationships. Life is in my finances. Life is in Ferguson. Life is in our youth department. Life is in Napa. I see it. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I accept it. I express it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life.
Something must change. It must change. Something must change.